What's going on, my friends and fellow Monsters, Inc. fans? Dan Taylor from DanThePixarFan.com back once again, and it's time for another flashback review between the Monsters at Work finale that just premiered on Disney Plus this week and the 20th anniversary of Monsters, Inc. quickly approaching. I was feeling pretty nostalgic toward the franchise and thought it would be fun to dive into my original 2001 Hasbro Monsters, Inc. talking action figure collection in hopes that this brings back some classic memories for you guys as well. I know a lot of you must have had these too, so just sit back and enjoy as we go back in time once again. So yeah, these are my original figures that I got back in the fall of 2001. I was 11 years old at the time, and I still remember getting them at Walmart, I believe it was, in October, weeks before the movie came out. And they looked like this in the package. I obviously don't have them in their boxes anymore, but these are the same individually carded ones that I got. And a lot of these same figures also came in this 6-pack, so all of them minus Water Noose and the CDA Agent. And then the only one that I don't have here in my personal collection is one that I learned about later in life as an adult, which is this Sully with tie figure, which came in one of these Scare Team 2-packs, which I never saw back in the day. It's the same Sully figure as the one that I have, just with a soft goods tie, and I don't believe that I've ever seen this for sale anywhere, though, online or otherwise. So out of curiosity, definitely let me know if you've ever seen this or ever owned it. So anyway, yeah, I was so excited for the film back in the day, and again, I got these toys before I even saw the movie. I remember someone, maybe a family member, saying something like, "You haven't even seen it yet," and I was like, "But it's Pixar, I know I'm gonna love it." And then I did, of course. Now, after 20 years and lots of play between myself and now my 2-year-old son Aiden, who's been loving them, they still look almost as good as new, which is a testament to the quality of them and also that I've always taken really good care of my toys. Alrighty, without any further background, let's just jump right into it here, starting with Water Noose. Water Noose stands at about 6 inches tall, which is really cool, since this is really the only time this character has ever been released in this scale. He has some nice details, really nice sculpt overall, feels sturdy and well made, and he does have a talking feature and an action feature. You can activate his talking feature by pressing his bow tie, and then his action feature is the old Water Noose Jump and Growl, which you can activate by pressing the character down, and he jumps up, which I'll demonstrate here in a second.
Now, give us a big, loud roar. All right, gentlemen, I hope you've learned a valuable lesson in scaring today. Well, James, that was an impressive display. Monsters Incorporated. We scare because we care.
And next up we have Sully here, which is an amazing figure, guys. The sculpt is so good with this one. Really good likeness to the character, some nice paint application, some good weathering in the fur and in the horns. We have articulation in the tail. His spots there are spot on. He's got articulation in the arms and in the wrists, not so much in the head, but this is such a good figure. Really nice weight to it. It feels really sturdy if you held on to it. Obviously, I love the Mattel line, what's going on right now with that, but this is just a more quality made figure overall from back in the day, even 20 years ago. It's pretty crazy. And he does have a talking feature, which you can activate here by pressing this spike here on his back.
Where's my buddy Blinky? Time to scare off the screams. James P. Sullivan reporting for duty. It's scaring time. Where's my buddy Blinky? Time to scare off the screams.
Sully also has an action feature, which you can activate by squeezing his legs together, and he lifts his arms up and roars. He does too. There's a more serious roar and then a more silly roar. Next up, we have this Scare Assistance 3-pack, which is a really neat selection of characters featuring Mike Wazowski and Ray, who's George Sanderson's assistant, and Fungus, who's Randall's assistant. Now, Mike is the only one with any talking or action features. The other two are just basic posable figures, and Mike looks great. I love his helmet. His likeness is spot on. He has some nice, good detailing, especially there on the clipboard. If you look closely, there's really good details there. And he has some basic posability there in his arms and his legs, and then you can activate his talking feature by pressing the button on his back, which also spins his eye, which is really fun.
That was solved! Now give me one of those great big scares. No, not a good idea. Yeah, blame it on the little guy. That was solved! Now give me one of those great big scares. No, not a good idea.
And then just a quick look at Fungus here. Again, this is just a basic figure with just some basic posability. He has some articulation in the arms and in the legs, but some nice details overall. And a fun fact, as a kid for the longest time, I actually thought his name was Frungus because that's what the packaging said. Let me know if you remember that error as well. Now let's take a look at Ray here, and again, there's not a lot to cover because there's not really a lot going on as far as articulation or any kind of action or talking features, but he has some nice details like there in the clipboard, and I love that he's holding his pencil. That's a nice touch. Really solid sculpt overall, and a great likeness to the character, which is something that I'm always looking for. Randall here stands at about 5 inches tall and is a pretty fun sculpt. He's certainly cool looking, though the features seem to come first before total accuracy. Like, as you can tell, he is see-through, obviously to represent his disappearing ability, but even as a kid, I thought it was kind of odd to see all the internal electronics, wiring, and batteries and such. Of course, his purple color here is also a tad too dark, but he's got a nice bumpy texture throughout and some decent articulation in the arms and legs. Now, as far as his talking feature, you can activate that by pressing either of his eyes. He speaks the same phrases on both sides, but with one side he lets out a little maniacal laugh before the phrase, while a little spot on him lights up red, and the other side he does kind of a weird monster growl before his phrase, while a little spot on him lights up green. Honestly, I don't know what the lights are all about. It's kind of a weird choice. I always thought it was a little odd, but it is what it is. Second to last here, we have the CDA Agent, who stands at a little bit over 5.5 inches tall, and this is yet another talking figure with a couple cool action features as well. He's got a very small amount of articulation and not a lot of range, essentially just a little bit in the arms there. His sculpt is very cool and true to the overall CDA look. However, I've never spotted this particular CDA suit design in the film. Even as a kid, I looked out for it constantly, and to this day, I still keep my eyes peeled, but I haven't seen it. So let me know if you've spotted it, but at this point, I'm pretty sure this design came from Hasbro or a deleted concept from Pixar. The figure once again feels quality and solid overall though. So yeah, just press the button on the back and a little mechanism will pop up out of the top of the vacuum backpack there, and that will also activate his phrases. I always had so much fun playing with this one and the other figures here to recreate the iconic 2319 scene when George gets his hair shaved. Alright, let's go ahead and hear and see this guy in action. And it's hard to tell here in this bright lighting, but it does glow red near the handle part of the vacuum, and then underneath here it lights up red as well. I also had to note that the only things missing here from any of these figures are these two little flip out panels, as you can tell, which is a bummer. I have no idea where they ever went. He's been like this for as long as I can remember, but yeah, I just had to address that. Also, sometimes, not every time, you'll get this red alert sound effect when pushing the pop-out panels back in. And there you go, that's it for the CDA Agent. George Sanderson here is last but not least, and he stands at about 7 inches tall, which makes him the tallest of the bunch. He has only 2 points of articulation, which are in the arms. Such a fantastic detail there with the sock on his back. And again, he's a well-made talking figure with several fun phrases straight from the film, a pop-off fur action feature, and a removable cone of shame accessory. His likeness honestly isn't the best. I feel like they could have made him look more like he does in the film, but it's certainly passable. Okay, let's see how his features work here. Okay, now I'm going to put his fur panels back on to show it one more time, and you gotta love the Band-Aid detail on his back. That's the perfect little touch. Okay, sorry George, we got another 2319 here, and you know what that means.
Give him a shave.
Oh, get it off! Get it off!
I feel like his panels don't really pop off super smooth at this point. You kind of have to shake them off, and I do wonder if it used to work better. I can't really remember, but yeah, you get the idea. Well, everyone, I hope this brought back some good memories, like I said at the start of this video, and if this is the first time you're seeing these, I hope you enjoyed this look at what are now considered like vintage figures, which is crazy to me since it doesn't feel like too long ago for me. You would never know these things are 20 years old. Literally, these are as good or better than any movie-inspired action figures produced these days, no question. And I love that they have the original voice actors doing the voices instead of someone doing a bad impression like how it is with the new Mattel's Interactables. But yeah, if you're any kind of Monsters, Inc. fan, I highly suggest tracking these down on eBay or your site of choice, and I'm looking forward to your comments down below. If you did enjoy this review, please consider giving it a big thumbs up and subscribing to my channel for more Pixar merch reviews just like this from my personal collection. Find me all over social media at Dan the Pixar Fan, and I will see you in my next video.